Hello everyone! This is my boyfriend Cooper, and today we're going to Barnes & Noble and he's allowed to choose 3 books for me to read this week on my TBR. However, if you decide to get a nonfiction book, I request that you only get 1.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, aside from that rule, he can choose whatever you feel like I should read, as long as I don't already own it.
I don't know how painful I want to make this.
Do you see what I have to deal with, you guys? What are you thinking?
I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna have to go, and I'm mostly just gonna go based off cover probably, and section of like genres and stuff. I'm not sure what I want to make you do yet.
You know I mostly read what, like romance and fantasy, a little bit of sci-fi, but yeah.
I'll at least get you one that I do think you will enjoy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So I guess we're gonna see. I'm a little nervous now. Are you gonna give me like a thriller?
I might.
He's the one who gets all my texts where I was like, babe, I was reading this book last night and I had the strangest dreams. Like the rabbit hutch. Weirdest dreams of my entire life.
Was it the one where you had dreams afterwards where they, like, people were trying to kill you the entire time, or? Yeah,
that was part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
stressful.
Let's go to Barnes & Noble. He has his looking face on.
The one that I saw on the way in, that is one of my favorite books, but I think you would hate it. So, Slaughterhouse 5, I read that, actually 4 schools, so surprising some of them books. Good read. Also a running book.
Yeah, I've been thinking about reading that, or like listening to it on an audiobook.
It's great to listen to if you're gonna work out and listen to something. That'll get you going.
So for some context, Cooper is an avid runner, like ultra marathon runner. If he gets a nonfiction book, I'm convinced it's probably gonna have to do with running.
Maybe that's where we're start. I wonder where that would be.
Oh no. I'm like the kind of person who goes for a jog like once a month. That's being generous.
Running with Sherman by McDougal.
He's on the move. He found one that he wants. Is this the one?
This is the one.
The non-fiction book has been acquired, so he can no longer get any more non-fiction. Only fiction from here on out. So I'm interested to see what you're gonna choose. Summer loving happens so fast.
So, Visit from the Goon Squad is gonna be one of them. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
It kind of sounds a little like Daisy Jones and the Six. Now we have one more book. Do you feel the pressure?
So, I could do something like a thriller that you would dislike.
Hey,
but
you said you were gonna give me something that I would like.
I think you'd like that one. Visit from the Goon Squad, I think you'll like it.
Okay.
But I'll be nice and get you smut.
He knows me so well.
I love the series. We watched one episode of it, I think, together. Harry Potter meets Chronicles of Narnia meets SVU. Have you read that?
Yes.
Did you recommend it to Miley?
Yes. That's where we just got done with that event this weekend. Allie Hazelwood was the one who hosted it, and then these authors are the ones who the event was for.
Oh.
Good job, babe. He pays attention. How you know he loves you? Say that again.
I'm automatically like staying away from the hardcovers.
Because I like paperbacks. What a keeper.
First thing I read about it was a sixsome, so here you go.
I don't know if that's the first one in the series though. It's a series.
Oh, okay. It's the Beautiful Bastard series.
Oh, Cooper said I'm cheating because I'm gently guiding him towards a book that I want. Rude.
I'm not gonna allow it.
Is that Jason Momoa? Doesn't it kind of look like
It
him?
looks like him, but there's no tattoos.
We're back from Barnes & Noble. Cooper has chosen 3 books for me to read.
Going through kind of how I chose them. One of the first ones that I got, I read it fairly recently. It's by Christopher McDougal, who also wrote Born to Run, which a lot of people have read and heard about. One of his other books, it's called Running with Sherman. And
however, Cooper already owned this book, so
yes.
he agreed to let me borrow it, so thank you.
Yes, save a little money. We love that. Running with Sherman is about Christopher McDougal. So he lives in Amish country in Pennsylvania. Starts off with him adopting a donkey named Sherman. And Sherman was neglected, and Christopher rescues Sherman and kind of helps him get used to being taken care of, helps him over some of the donkey's mental issues. Along the way, they also meet a boy who is going through the same sort of struggles. Christopher enters them in a race. It's an ultra marathon that the donkey and the runner run together. They don't ride the donkey, they actually have to run side by side. Donkeys are known for being stubborn, so I'm sure you can imagine how difficult that is, and training for it. It's a lot of fun, a lot about psychology, a lot about animals, and Amish country as well. A lot of fun.
This is definitely not a book that I would pick up by myself, so I'm really interested to see how it's gonna go. On a scale of 1 to 5, what do you think I'm gonna rate this?
I think you're gonna be surprised by it because it is a cute story. I mean, it's non-fiction, but it's got some great stuff in it. Book number 2, I read this probably 5 to 10 years ago. I really enjoyed it. It's called A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan. It's a Pulitzer Prize winner. So some people think it's good. I really enjoyed it. It's about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It is told through the eyes of many different people through a time period from like the 70s until the future, actually. It goes through basically the rock scene through the eyes of musicians, journalists, fans, groupies, and even an autistic child, which is a pretty interesting chapter. I really enjoyed it. It's a pretty unique book, and it's a lot of fun to read too. I think you're gonna like it.
I also don't think I would have chosen this for myself, so it's gonna be interesting.
The third one I haven't read, but I wanted to get something more up her alley. I found in like the romance section. Hopefully there's a little bit of smut to it. We'll see. The third book took me the longest to find for sure.
It took him a while.
Yeah.
I just kind of stopped filming and let him do his thing. So there wouldn't be as much pressure.
Made me feel a little bit awkward being like the only guy in that aisle. And,
I
like,
was nearby.
most of the time. I read a lot of the synopsis on the back, and this one kind of spoke out to me. It is Kiss the Sky by Krista and Becca Ritchie. The reason I chose it, it appears to be about a very smart and strong woman. We love that. And it's enemies to lovers, and it looks like they make references to gods and queens and stuff like that, but I think it's more of a metaphor. I don't think they're actually gods and queens.
I'm not sure either. We just looked up the rating on Goodreads just to see, really to see if it was the first book in the series, and of course the rating popped up, and it was very highly rated, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like it.
Here's the tagline, are you ready? A virgin ice queen heiress and the arrogant god who wants to melt her.
But like I said, I think that's a metaphor because
It seems very like modern.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's modern. Her college rival is the apparent love interest, is what it seems like.
Nice.
So.
This one, you said you think I'm gonna rate
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
Okay. This one was
A 4.
And what do you think this one's gonna be?
4.2, is that cheating, going with what it says online?
No, you can say 4.25. That's the normal
4.25.
rating I give things.
Okay, I'll go for that.
4.25. Okay, we're gonna see how I feel about all of these, and I'll get back to you.
All right.
I'm nervous. See you after I read. Bye. Hey friends, I just want to hop on here and let you guys know that I started running with Sherman. I wanted to start with this book because it is nonfiction and it is the most intimidating book that my boyfriend chose, in my opinion. Just one, because it's nonfiction, and two, because I don't mind running, but it's not necessarily a topic that I love. I was just worried that it would be a little bit more difficult to push through and to finish. However, I am now 50 pages in and I'm actually enjoying it. I've caught myself giggling a few times. There's just some humor that I'm really enjoying. I didn't expect that of this book. It did take a little bit to get into the story, but now that I'm 50 pages in, I'm having a good time. Also, I love that there are photos, not every page, maybe a photo or two every chapter. It's making me really happy to see those photos. It just adds a little extra to the story. Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back. I have a little bit of a reading update. I finally finished running with Sherman. Originally, I wanted to make this video reading these books in a week. However, that is not what happened. I ended up reading this book in about a week. So this vlog is just gonna end up being over a little bit longer period of time than I originally planned. I really enjoyed this book. After sitting and thinking about it, I think overall I would give it like a 4.5 or 4.75. So let me tell you why. This author has a lot of experience writing in journalism, and that kind of shone through. This story isn't just about a donkey and the journey of him healing. If I were to kind of narrow this down a little bit more, I would say it's very humorous. There are some great anecdotes that even if you can't relate to them, you might find interesting and be able to incorporate them into your life. This story made me think about the values of a very tight-knit community, which is the kind of community that Christopher McDougal lives in, and kind of the benefits of that and what you can get and take out of that. I also got to learn a lot about the Amish community, which is kind of the community that he lives in. I got to do a little bit of a deeper dive into that, and I found that really interesting. I love learning about communities and religions and just people who think differently than me. I find it really refreshing, and it just makes me think, which I really appreciated. It also made me think about giving to others, whether that's giving financially, giving your time, giving your energy, giving your ear. Because that happens a lot in this book, and it was really inspiring and eye-opening. To give you an update on Kiss the Sky. I started it a few days ago and I have quite a few thoughts so far. First off, the synopsis tells you like literally absolutely nothing about what happens in this story. Like, it tells you a little bit about the characters. That's it. This book is actually like about this family of sisters. They're filming like a reality TV show to help bring Rose's fashion company back up after it got destroyed in Reputation recently. So I'm having a good time now, but jumping into this book was really confusing because I think this happens after the Addicted series, or maybe like coinciding with the Addicted series. I'm not really sure, but when I did my research, it was not obvious that this was like a spin-off of the Addicted series, if that makes sense. So otherwise I probably would have asked my boyfriend to choose a different book, but that's okay. I am currently on page 308. Probably took me until about 40% through to like really feel like I was getting to know the characters and for things to kind of pick up and to feel like I was no longer in a void. So I kind of like know what happened, but I don't really understand what happened or the impact of it. That being said, it's pretty fast paced. I really like Connor, and I know Connor's not gonna be for everyone, but I really like Connor, and I'm really enjoying Rose too. However, there are 2 men so far in this book who are pretty despicable human beings. I just cannot get over that. I really cannot get over that. So that is kind of like lowering my general enjoyment of this book. It's just enraging me so much and making me so mad. I think I'm gonna try and finish this today because I do start grad school soon, and I just really don't know how my schedule's gonna be, how much reading I'm going to be able to do once it starts. If you guys have read the Addicted series or any of these books, can you please tell me how I'm supposed to read it and how it works down in the comments below? Should I go back and read the Addicted series? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it right now. Please let me know if you've read this series and like understand how it works. Okay. Hello everyone.
Hello.
We are back again. I have finally finished the 3 books that Cooper has chosen for me.
You say finally, but you tore through them. You did pretty good.
I feel like I took a long time. Like I wanted to finish these in a week. I did not finish them in a week. So to me, that's slow.
You were busy to say the least, so.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I finished the 3 books and I wanted to talk about my thoughts. Now, I've told you a few of them as I read them, so I'm just gonna go in order of how I read them. If that first was Running with Sherman. I decided to read this one first because I was the most intimidated by this one. I thought that I was gonna hate it. I think originally I thought I was gonna give it a 3-star. This one, you said you think I'm gonna rate 3.5. Yeah. Okay. And I think that I ended up giving it a 5-star.
It's so good.
It's like in between a 4.5 and a 5-star. I did have a few issues with the writing, just being that there were a few side stories and like anecdotes that I didn't find necessary to the story and just kind of made it drag a little bit. Like there's a story about where they stay during the race. And I thought, while I was reading that, I was like, this is really unnecessary.
I don't know, I feel like that's a really big part of trail marathons and running. Whenever you're like running, doing marathons or races that are out of town, it becomes a big part of it, and it really affects how the race goes and kind of the feeling and overall.
So maybe that was just lost on me not being a runner.
Maybe.
However, I enjoyed this book so much. There was so much humor in it, and I loved the journey of this man and the donkey and the family friend that ends up joining them. It was so cute, and I loved the animals in it. It was so fun, and I just felt like I learned so much. I ended up talking about this book so much that my mom, who's the director at a library, ended up buying it for her library. And literally the first day the book arrived, it got checked out, someone has a hold on it, and then my mom still wants to read it too. That's how much I talked about this book. It was really interesting learning about the Amish community. He adds a lot of little facts in there. You don't realize that you're learning things until you're done with the book because it's so smoothly written. I don't know, I just really enjoyed it.
I also feel like he does a really good job of kind of making it legendary, I guess, for lack of a better word.
It kind of is, though.
He does a good job not making it feel like it's nonfiction.
Yeah, I agree. Enjoyed it. Okay, the next book that I read. Cooper already knows my initial feelings. This one was
a 4.
I am so sorry to those of you who love this book. This is not really about the writing, but I hated this book. I hated it so much. I feel so mean saying that because I know this author put a ton of work into it. Every chapter is a different person, so it's floating point of view. Not my favorite.
I like that.
The timeline in every chapter is different. Every single chapter is a different time period. And it doesn't just go chronologically. It goes to the past, and then it goes to the future, and then it goes 2 years later, then it goes back again. And so you were constantly wondering when this was and where it fit into the puzzle piece. And so I feel like there are some people who would really enjoy that like mental game.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
I did not. I like to read for pleasure. I do not like to read to be mind-boggled. I'm already mind-boggled by life. And most of the characters in here, I hated them.
Yeah, there's a lot
they were terrible.
Of people you're not supposed to like.
I want to like the people I'm reading about.
I think I need to reread this book because I last read it, I think I was 16. And I think when you're 16, you kind of get drawn to some more sad, depressing, angsty sort of things. Talking to Elise, I don't remember the same way that she read it. So I need to visit it again, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think you should, and I would like to hear your thoughts as you read it.
Yeah.
I will say the ending, the last chapter ended with someone who was in the first chapter, not the main point of view, but they were in the first chapter. And I thought that was really cool how it wrapped up. So like the first chapter had someone in it, and then someone made an appearance and that person was in the next chapter, and then someone made an appearance and that person was in the next chapter. So I thought it was really fascinating how it all pieced together.
It's kind of like a spider web. Like it's just kind of pieced throughout time and different spaces in their lives. They have like one connection usually from chapter to chapter.
So yeah, that was the only thing that I about this book.
I thought you were gonna like it more.
I'm so sorry. In our last book that Cooper chose, I got a little coffee on it, boo. But that is Kiss the Sky. What do you think this one's gonna be?
4.2, is that cheating going with what it says online?
No, you can say 4.25. That's the normal
4.25.
rating I give things.
Okay, I'll go for that.
4.25. Now, we messed up. Because I thought that this was the first book in a series, and technically it is. However, upon further research and talking to a bunch of different book friends who have read this series, there are 3 other books I should have read before this one. Yeah.
Oops.
I just looked it up and it was the first in the Calloway Sisters series, but they're like interconnected series with the Addicted series by these same authors. So the first half of the book, I just felt like there was this giant void of information. Like the authors, I think, did a good job of kind of very briefly talking about things that I had missed. Mm-hmm. So I kind of got the gist of it, but that first half I was just like, I am really missing something. And so it kind of made it harder to connect with the characters and like get into the story. However, after that, I finally felt like I knew enough and like I enjoyed the characters. I loved Connor. New book boyfriend.
All right.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
I also really liked Rose. I really liked them because these 2 main characters are like, cut the crap. They do not beat around the bush. They tell it like it is. They're very like, this is who I am, accept it or leave it. Like, bye. If you don't like me, bye. I don't care. And I love that. I love that in real life too. It's kind of how I am.
I do remember you mentioning though that, you know, I got this one with the idea of smut in mind.
Yes.
Not as much as you were thinking, right?
So it doesn't start until past the halfway point. And so like to me, a smutty book
is continuous a little bit.
It's like throughout the whole book.
Okay.
Now it was spicy. It didn't get going until later in the book.
Okay.
I feel like I give this like a 4-star. Maybe if I read the series it would be higher, but one of the reasons I couldn't give this a better rating is because there's this one character, actually 2 characters, who are just like despicable human beings. Did I tell you what happened at the end?
No. Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. There's gotta be a villain.
Every time he was in the scene, I wanted to throttle him. So anyway,
there we go. 3
books that my boyfriend Cooper chose for me. I'd say they're pretty good. 4.5 to 5-star, 4-star, and I'm not even gonna rate this one. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Throw it out the window.
It's okay.
Thanks for choosing, babe.
You're welcome. I hope you had a little bit of fun.
I did. I never would have chosen these 2 for sure. This one is debatable. I've been debating the Addicted and Callaway series for a while, so it was kind of nice dipping my toe into that. I'm definitely more curious about it, so it was good. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, you're amazing. Be sure to subscribe. If you made it this far, you might as well, right? I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're doing well whenever and wherever you're watching this. Sending you good vibes, and see you in the next video. Bye, everyone. Maybe you'll see more Cooper.
Maybe. Thanks.
Yeah. Which arm? It was sticking up weirdly.
It's not behind my ear.
You look so nervous. Oh God. You're so cute.
I'm so sweaty. But
I love
it's
how it's
interesting.
focusing on you, even though I haven't even put you in the system yet.
Sweet.
Why do you look guilty?
I don't look guilty. The even me part made me gag.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how uncomfortable am I making you?
6 has been the number today. I'm gonna go with that.
Is that better?
Yeah. That feels a lot better.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that feels a lot
You
better.
look like a yoga instructor.
You gotta come up better. Look better. More ideas. Oh my god.
You guys see what I have to deal with?
More ideas with me involved.
Wow! Rude.
That's not what I meant.
What?
I feel in trouble.
No, you're not. That was funny.